Hello, hello, and welcome to the stream. My name is JD Grospitz, lead singer and streaming talent of Malignant Bear. We're coming at you live on this Friday night with Necromunda, Hired Gun. I played this a little over a month ago when it first came out, and I enjoyed it, but it's definitely jank, has some issues. Chief among them was optimization and bugs, and I've kind of shelved it, waiting for those things to be fixed. And hopefully some of them have been fixed today because this just got a big update this morning, adding AMD's FSR technology. I can't remember for the life of me what it stands for, but it's their version of Nvidia's DLSS, which is a upscaling technology. So it runs the game at a lower resolution and then upscales it to something higher. So I'm really curious to see how it's going to work in this game and if it's going to improve the optimization of this. Last time I played this, when it first came out, I had a 5600 XT video card. Since then, I've upgraded to a 6700, and so that's going to help a little bit with that, but we'll see what it does as far as the optimization with the FSR. So, without any further ado, let's jump on in and see what we can get out of this. Alright, so before we go in, we'll check out the options here just to kind of see what we're dealing with. So I have it set to just 1080p because that was all it would run at before. And here we have the option for FSR, Fidelity FX Super Resolution. Okay, that's what it stands for. It's interesting. So there's a couple different options here. There's no explanation of what they do. It auto-detected to ultra quality for me. I don't know what that does. I don't know if that's going to like push it to 4K or what it's trying to do. You can see we have the FPS counter over here in the top right. Thankfully the game provides one of its own because this game doesn't work well with the Steam overlay. We're going to keep it at Ultra. I have VSync on because in a little bit of testing I did with VSync off, this was hitting 200 FPS, which is a little bit overkill. So I have a 144 Hz monitor. But everything else is set to Epic, and again FSR here on Ultra quality. So we'll see what this looks like. We are here in a little hub area. Okay, so we'll walk around here, see what things kind of look like. So this is with it running 1080p, but FSR is set at the highest setting, ultra quality. So it looks a little odd, and I'm not sure if that's because of the FSR or sort of the graphical quality of the game itself. I know the game had sort of a interesting art style to it. It does look a little blurry, like with movement, and it's not motion blur. It's like the game is trying to render things a little bit differently, and there's definitely some stuttering. It's not frame rate drops, but it's weird hitching. Looks pretty good though. But yeah, it's not dropping frame rate. But again, just some kind of odd stuttering with it. So we'll go up here, see what this guy looks like. Okay, pretty neat looking. A little bit of frame rate drop here now. Okay, so now I'm curious. So that's on Ultra. Let's try Performance. It definitely looks blurrier. That's for sure. Very blurry, in fact. That's hard not to notice. I'm not sure how that's going to come through on the stream. So again, we're streaming only in 1080p 60, just for bandwidth reasons. But it's definitely very blurry on my end. It's hard to tell from the little preview window or from OBS what it looks like. So this is with it on performance mode. Yeah, it's noticeable. It looks like there's almost Vaseline over everything in the game. Sound effects are very quiet too, but I'm not super worried about that. Boy, that is very, very noticeable. Let's go down here, the arena, get some combat in. So what we'll do is we'll set this back to Ultra. It's still a little blurry, a little Vaseline-y. Not nearly as bad though. but then we get the hitching too, so. Go and we'll fight some things here and see what we can get as far as performance and visuals. Ooh, definitely some stuttering. That's not good. Where am I getting shot at from? Come on, more enemies. Let's see what they look like. Close. Alright, so yeah, there's some weird micro stutters. Frame rate's still fine, but... Okay, let's see what it looks like then. Let's compare now. Let's turn this off and just crank it up to regular 1440p. Definite FPS drop, about 50% less, in fact. So this is without FSR, with 1440p. Looks pretty good. It's not blurry. There's none of the weird stuttering. I'd say aside from the blurriness, visuals are about the same as when it was 1080p and the ultra quality. I'm gonna die. Let's see here. That's not too bad, but let's try some of these other options here. So, quality? I don't know what that's going to do. So this is 1080p with the quality setting. Definitely blurry, but up to 144 FPS again. I was T-posing for a second. I suppose they haven't fixed the bugs yet. At least not all of them. What? Get out of here. What was that? Oh. Summoned my dog. Looks especially blurry. My dog. Well, that could just be fur. Okay, so let's see. We have a good test case here. Let's try balanced. Definitely blurrier. There's not really a change in the FPS. Alright, now one more thing to test. Turn off VSync, turn this off completely, and let's just see what kind of frame rate we can get at just regular 1080p with this. It's worse? I don't understand. Okay. It's worse frame rate. That doesn't make any sense. But no blurriness. These things just melt. What's happening down there? Lots of options in this, I'm sorry. If you were looking for gameplay, not going to be super exciting. We'll switch to that, VSync on. We'll try 1440p and Ultra. Curious what that's going to force. That might be the ticket. There's still a little bit of the, don't lower resolution. Oh, okay. See, I thought it was smart and that it knew to automatically go up then. Okay. So yeah, this definitely looks better. So this is 1440p with it on Ultra. Ooh. Brutal. Forgot how to play this game. But yeah, it's running well. There's no frame rate drops or anything. So this is 1440p, the Ultra setting on FSR. Ooh. Okay. Let's see here. Remember what my key bindings were for this? Good. So let's try an actual mission. See what it looks like with a little bit more stuff going on. We can compare back in here too. So it was especially bad over here near the Artificier. Okay, yeah, none of the Vaseline effect on the screen anymore. That's good. All right, yeah, that's impressive. So yeah, with FSR off and 1440p, it was struggling to hit 70. It's hanging out above 100 right now. Can't remember how to do anything. Let's do side missions. Kill things. Sure, we can do that. And escape is confirmed. That's odd. Alright, so this is just a little side mission in this game, and we'll see how this works with a little bit more stuff going on. So on the train level, there's a lot of things going on, lots of moving pieces here. Definitely some frame rate drops already. What's that? She was made of explosions. Is 1440p FSR Ultra better than 1080p native? Yeah, we can test that. So here, actually, I'll go back outside for that, because there was definitely a lot more moving parts there. Alright, so yeah, right now we are on... This is 1440p Ultra. So, looks pretty good. A lot of things going on here. A little bit of FPS drops when it first started. So now we will switch and do... Let's see... 1080p native. Alright, so we go back in. A little bit higher FPS, of course. Hard to tell visual fidelity-wise. Picked up something, though. Go, dog, go. What? Yeah, not getting any frame rate drops. And as far as visuals, there's not a huge difference. Let's look at something kind of static here and compare. It's 1080p. Do 1440 without it. Looks pretty similar. So now, but obviously bad frame rate with that. Try Ultra. I think it definitely looks a little bit worse. So this is with 1440p and the Ultra FSR. It looks a little bit worse for sure, but getting literally double the frame rate is hard to ignore. I think this looks slightly better than 1080p with it off. So that's ideal. What is that thing? Get him, dog. What? Okay. Uh-oh. tried to do a takedown and it just completely froze there for a split second. Didn't do it that time. So it's hard to tell if that was because of the settings or just because this game is still a little bit jank. It's looking a lot better than it did last time I played, though, that's for sure. Frame rate's solid. No idea what I'm doing in this level. Heal, okay. It's easy enough. You can't escape by glitching through that wall. Neither can you. Glad to see the takedown animations are still very bugged. Come on. Just a little bit. No more things. I don't know where more things would be. There, maybe? Still running pretty well. Again, I'll attribute some of the hitching to just this game. Try this weapon out. Don't know what it is. That one bugged out completely. Ended up killing the different guy entirely. Pretty cool looking. And even in that, no serious frame rate drops. So take that for sure. Yeah, fight each other. So I don't have to waste ammo. Whoa. Hell of an arm. There's one more somewhere. Nothing is immune to takedown attacks. Okay. Let's see. This. Boy, that's really inaccurate at range. So glad you're invincible while doing that. It's so glitchy. Oh boy. It's not an instant kill on that guy. The knife just nowhere near her in the end. It's a good game to test this on, though, because it's definitely got a lot of stuff going on visually. Lots of movement. Forgot you can slide. I think you can wall climb, too, right? Yeah. Some interesting enemies here. Okay, just for comparison's sake, one more time, when we clear out the rest of this level, turn this on performance mode, and it's gonna look a little iffy. Like, it still looks pretty good, but there's definitely some sort of Vaseline screen sort of effect to it. It's worth pointing out that FSR is a software side thing, so it's run on individual games, and it's designed, there's some hitching there for sure, it's designed to work on pretty much any modern video card. So any AMD card above a 500 series, and any Nvidia card above a 1000, I think. So, you know, your 1000 series, your 1660s, obviously 2000s and 3000s. Not quite as good as DLSS, but obviously can run on a lot more things, potentially. It's made of lightning. Whoa. Okay. Yes, this is with the FSR and performance. Definitely good frame rate, but yeah, it's hard to ignore the Vaseline on the screen effect that it gives you. Especially for anything kind of remotely shiny. The people look fine, but all the metal and stuff, it's a little bad. Well, as fine as they can given the in-game effect that they have on them. Little highlighting thing. Wow, that one was especially brutal. The animations for that are so bizarre, I can't even tell what I'm doing half the time. Things are dying, but I don't know. That shouldn't have happened, but okay. Alright, we'll swap it back to one of the other settings. I don't know why there's 4 of them. I can understand Ultra and Performance, but I feel like having 2 that are mid-range is a little pointless. Let's see what balance looks like. So same FPS. Again, shaped a little bit by the fact that I have it with VSync on. Turn that off and see what we can get. My god, why do you not default to option or video? It's the only thing I care about. Shotgun is more accurate than my assault rifle is. That's terrible. Okay. So yeah, this is with balanced. So with VSync off, we're getting 200 FPS. That's impressive. Let's see what performance gets us. It's so varied, it's hard to tell. So just looking at the wall here, it's going up to about 260, which again is absolute overkill. Whoa. What? I have no idea what just happened. I think I ripped out her intestines. Oh my god. Okay. So yeah, performance, we're getting between 140 and 260 FPS, which is a huge range. Balanced. Holding steady around 170. And it definitely looks better. There's less of the oil in the screen. But again, it's still noticeable. You can tell. So we'll try quality, whatever that is. Again, slightly better visuals. And only slightly diminished frame rate drop. See, I can't tell. I'm not sure what the point is between balanced and quality. It's similar FPS and very similar fidelity and everything. I feel like I just would have done a middle ground between these two. Right, and then we'll try, last but not least, Ultra. See, this is a noticeable improvement. Obviously, noticeable frame rate drops as well, but visually, looks fine. The track is boring. There's a guy up here.
You're gonna be tasty.
Uh-oh. It's digging a hole in the train. We're screwed. Absolute mad lad. Tunneled through the train. Get him. Not her. Where did that guy go? Kill. There it is. Alright, so we'll try one more time here. Again, this is just for lots of comparison. I just want to see how this is working. Leave it at 1440p and turn FSR off. Everything else is still on Ultra. Haven't messed with these settings at all. Haven't messed with the resolution scale. I have motion blur on, but so I think obviously with FSR off and 1440p, this looks the best. There's none of the effect, that sort of visual oil. Oop. No data. YouTube screwed up for a second there. All right, so yeah, we'll turn FSR to Ultra, turn motion blur off. I think this is it though. This is the ideal setting for this. On Ultra 1440p. What is shooting me? There's no one else here. That was completely broken. Oop, I guess I won. Remove motion blur with FSR off. Okay. Let's see. Oh god, the loot system in this game was terrible. How do I keep things? What the hell? That's pretty good. I don't know how these things compare to anything I have. That's fine. Just skip it. Yep. Alright, so we'll do another mission then. So you said take motion blur off and FSR off. Alright, we can do that. These wonderful long loading screens. So we're in town, and let's see. FSR Ultra, motion blur off. Turn FSR off in 1440p.
The old Titan train.
Yeah,
Yeah, I heard. There's gonna be payback for that.
you know it.
Looks pretty good. Again, very similar to FSR on. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, always good to have comparisons for sure. Let's see. I like that the people in the bar change. It's a nice feature. Can I pet him? Yeah. Game of the year. Okay. Let's see. FSR on, motion blur off.
It shouldn't be like that.
It looks very similar.
Dome full of archaeotech. They should have told us it was abandoned because of the plants will eat you. Elmore's teeth.
So we'll do just looking at this, not moving or anything. This is FSR on 1440p. Go around the area here. Looks very good. And performance. Still looks good, but blurry. That frame rate though. Totally wasted on a 144 Hz monitor, but you know. Nice stained glass in here. Never noticed that before. But yeah, definitely very blurry. This little window comes up. Yeah. And off. So of course, with it off, looking the best here.
You cannot put a price on a perfectly customized weapon.
But yeah, 80 FPS. Less than ideal, which I know sounds
And
so, such a first world problem. Oh no, 80 FPS in a brand new game in 1440p. Alright, we'll leave it at Ultra though.
Lion Viper.
That's
Pretty brave, you ask me.
Oh, pretty stupid.
yeah, the difference there, it's so minor. Some reflective surfaces here, so try that one more time. So definitely more detail with FSR off in 1440p, but that's to be expected. But yeah, the gain in FPS there is hard to ignore.
What in Helmor's name was she thinking?
It's gross.
Damn
Clean
it,
your bar.
Stole another barrel. Now I got drunk rats to worry about.
Alright, so we'll do one more mission with it on. I think this might be a new record for playing this game without it crashing, too. Free captives. Try this one. Probably back on the train. Yep. Oh, I turned off the Radeon overlay. I'm not a big fan of it, unless it's something that just magically will turn itself back on. Oh boy. 5K than FSR. I don't know if it'll let me. Let's see. Yeah, that's as far as it'll let me get. I think it's just based on my monitor, only does up to 1440. So some limits, unfortunately. Okay, won't bring back detail, get rid of some of the blurriness. Yeah, Radeon overlay's not popping up. I don't think there's anything else I can turn on here. Everything else is set as high as it'll go. I guess in hindsight I should have hooked this up to my TV or something, that way I could have tested it at full 4K. Is there a spaceship on this train?
You hear that, scummer? Eat this, scummer!
Enable VSR and AMD to get higher resolution. Okay. Let's see here. Let me kill this guy real quick and then pause and see what I can do with that. So 1 second here. Switch over to standby. See what I can do. Restart the game for it to take effect, so 1 moment here. Loading back in now. So let's see if I can start back up. We'll mess with the resolution once we actually get inside. So we have the VSR turned on now and the AMD things, or AMD settings. Lost our progress, but that's okay. Let's see what we can get. There we go. Okay. Let's go for it. All the way. And Ultra. Leave VSync and motion blur off. Keep everything else as it was. The FPS counter is so tiny now I can't even see it. Wonderful design there. Very stuttery.
The old train.
Yeah,
Yeah, I heard.
Bust out my glasses or
There's
something.
Payback for that.
you know it.
So it's struggling to hit 40 or 30 FPS. Looks real good though. But yeah, stuttering is hard to ignore. Oof. It's gonna look even worse on stream. Oh, not ultra lowest. Okay. I was gonna say, wow, that would be impressive. Okay, performance. Ooh, all right. I see what you mean.
It shouldn't be like that. They
Let's
said
go
it was an
here.
abandoned dome full of
So this is where I noticed some of the blurriness
Told us it
before.
was abandoned 'cause of the plants will eat you, Elmore's teeth.
It's only getting about 70 FPS. Still pretty good though.
A trivial matter to waste my time.
That's an interesting balance though.
That's him.
Yeah. Some outlander.
And the Iron Vipers.
Pretty brave, you ask me.
Okay.
Oh, pretty stupid.
See, I can't notice the Vaseline effect on it right now, which is good, because normally with performance on, it was very noticeable. Go up here? Yeah.
Time is the key. Why do they persist with these rotten materials?
Go up there. Let's look out over everything. Let's get steady FPS, that's for sure. Alright, so we'll try that. So yeah. That with performance compared to 1440 and Ultra. Yeah, that's what I want to see for sure. So this is with Ultra FSR and 1440p. It looks about the same, I would say. Definitely better FPS right now. Yeah. Wonderful YouTube quality, of course. And let's see. Try just native 1440p. I've got to say, there's not much of a difference between native 1440p and whatever ungodly resolution that was with Ultra FSR on, or with Performance FSR on, rather. I think these look pretty similar. Slight frame rate boost in just native 1440p, but as far as visual fidelity, I think it's about the same. Let's see what it is once we get some action going here. Power slide. Can feel the heat my computer's putting out there. That's always a good sign. Yeah, no FPS drops, so this is 1440 native. And then all the way performance. Why does the FPS counter get so small? Wow. I think these look pretty similar. There's maybe slightly more detail on things, just completely maxed out here on performance. So this works a lot better than I thought it would. Some of the demos I saw from, was it Godfall or whatever that game was, you could definitely tell, but with this, it's not as noticeable. Let's see, I usually put games to 5K if I have better performance room and want it to look better. If it's double 1440, I'm gonna die. Look better with balanced. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I'm glad to test this out. This is looking forward to a game that I could actually test this with. Get out of here. There we go. Takedown just did not want to work with that guy. Okay, that makes sense. The blood effect looks terrible on that. I don't think that's due to any of the super sampling then. So violent. Oof. So of course we can test some other resolutions here. Some ones in the middle I just kind of forgot about. Drop down to 4K, and we'll try balanced with that. See what we get. Looks about the same. Better FPS for sure. Better FPS, and I can actually read it. It's crazy. So it's hovering around 90. So this is 4K, FSR unbalanced. Curious how much it'll chug if I turn it up to ultra. Whoa. At a certain point, I'm not even noticing any visual changes. No grossness on the screen, other than all the blood. Oh my goodness. No, just not gonna do the takedown, huh? But yeah, definitely some stuttering with this. So this is 4K, and I can't even remember now. Changing so many settings. 4K and Ultra, okay. So I think, just with the testing I'm doing here, native 1440p, 4K on Ultra, and 5K on performance all look fairly similar, to the point where I'm not really noticing a difference between them. I think 1440p with the Ultra preset is the sweet spot. It does look slightly worse than native 1440p, but with the added benefit that it can get, you know, full frame rate and everything. Let's try quality with 4K.
Eat this, skinny!
Ooh. Wow, dripping from the ceiling. How far we've come from old school Doom and Wolfenstein. Have any FPS on this? 75-ish. Try one more thing here. Wonderful stream of options menus. But yeah, balanced and quality seem to be so similar. It's getting about 10 more FPS. Slight sheen effect on things again, but it's not killing it in any way. So. Yeah, the frame rate's holding steady, which I think is the most important part of this. I have two shotguns. What was I thinking? Okay. So yeah, just one more time then, all the way to 5K and performance. Glitches out a little bit on my end when I set that up, but... Definitely some frame rate hitching with this. Oh boy. Yeah, looks pretty good, but it's hard not to acknowledge the frame rate on that. So yeah, 4K, balanced. Yeah, 5K just seems like such overkill. To the point where I'm not sure what I would use that for. I think if I wasn't streaming though, so obviously when you're streaming you want to get as high a frame rate as possible, just so that there's not stuttering on the stream, but you want it multiples of 60 still. So with that, obviously I want to try to get 120. But if I wasn't streaming, I think I would probably go for this. Probably the 4K with some level of FSR on. So this is with quality. Get 90 FPS, it's pretty good. Looks very good. See, I think this looks slightly better than native 1440. Definitely runs better. So there's something to be said for that. Oh, I hadn't thought about that. So yeah, 5K would be double 1440. Here comes Tenacious. Still alive, actually. Get out of here before I die. I don't know what it does, but... Wrong thing. Can't follow me here. It's impressive tech, though. I'm curious how this would run with an older card, for example. But I have no idea what just happened there. These takedown animations are more than a little bugged. It's the same one again. Yeah, okay. So it's showing me all those guys as enemies.
Another rust-dam hijack. We can't let that get out. I'm gonna have the Yulanti breathing down my neck.
Let's see.
Might be time to go and see the old man.
Let's look at this. It's just our reference here. Balanced. Quality.
Before somebody else does.
I really can't tell the difference between balanced and quality. I'm not sure. Maybe it's just me. There's definite frame rate difference, but visually they look about the same. And ultra. It's a little bit better, a little shinier. But again, another big drop in frame rate. Your mask is not even on your face, is it? What's the point? But yeah, definite FPS drop there. And then this more for fun. Yeah, at a certain point, visually, it all sort of it reaches its peak. I'm not getting much more out of this from a visual perspective, but the frame rate benefit is hard to ignore. That's really great, though. Except for what's going on your back? Oh my goodness. Go see somebody about that. And your face.
The shadow.
Stay still. Give me your paw. Doesn't work. Darn. Alright. Play with the dog in full 5K in performance. Again, I think it looks kind of similar. Even similar frame rate. So this is 5K with performance FSR. And before it was 1440 with no FSR. So I think I have an interesting use case for this, given that I have, you know, it's not a top-of-the-line GPU, but it's up there. So yeah, I would be very curious to see this on something much more modest.
What in
A 1660 or, you know, a 5700. I'm curious what they would get out of this. Seriously, your shoulder, what is going on there? But you look relatively normal. Yeah,
Just starting to wonder.
looks about the same, I think.
Part of this
So
I don't understand.
pet our dog one more time here. I think we'll call it there, though. Wanted this to be a shorter stream, just kind of test how all this worked and looked. Again, I don't know how much it came up on. Yeah, like I said, I've never used VSR other than when I first got the card, and couldn't really tell much of a difference. So, but yeah, I imagine with a 4K monitor, this might look very different. Might drag my computer out to the living room and hook it up with that with a 4K TV and see what it does. But again, I think at a certain point, it's kind of hit the limit on what it can do and how it can look. But that could just be me. Yeah. Very impressive, though, for sure. But yeah, I think we're going to call it here. Like I said, just wanted to make this short, test out how this worked. I don't want to press my luck with this game. Again, it's very crash prone, especially with all the switching around we've been doing. I'm sure it doesn't like that either. But thanks for tuning in and watching this and checking it out. Let's see here. Switch on over to that. So, as always, whether you were here live or you watch the VOD of this, I hope you enjoy it, and we do appreciate your viewership. Hopefully all the switching around and comparisons turned out well on stream. It's always hard to tell. But, yeah. As always, until next time, have a good one.